everybody. This is Fred Quinones from 𝒘𝐢𝐝 𝐿. Did you know that there is a shift in the market in Florida? Yes, in fact, that is the case. It's something that all of us have to be adapted to, and we could wish that real estate would always stay the same if it's in your favor. But there are some things that you truly should understand when it comes to Florida real estate in 2025 at this current moment. As you well know, the economy is going through some changes, and without getting into any political divide, the fact of the matter is that most people are feeling the impacts of the economy on their wallet. We're noticing that prices of normal grocery goods and everyday products are a little bit higher than normal. We're not quite sure when these changes will loosen up a little bit. So for now, a lot of people who, are living on a somewhat tight budget or a tighter budget than normal may put a pause on the consideration of wanting to purchase a home. But I would implore you, for any person who is considering purchasing a home, especially in the state of Florida, what we're finding is that we are definitely more in a buyer's market. And what does that mean for a lot of people? That means that for buyers, what you're going to find is an opportunity for you to get a great chance to be able to negotiate terms where a few years ago you had no chance at all. So what does that mean? You might need some closing costs. So in this heavier buyer's market, you might be able to ask the seller for a concession towards closing. And what that means is that you might be able to get, based on the type of loan that you're taking out, if you are, or even if you're a cash buyer, you might need some money for closing costs. You can ask for that concession and you can get a certain amount up to the requirements that the mortgage, or if you're taking a mortgage, would allow you to take, to be able to cover some of those expenses that you have in order to close. On top of that, due to the fact that it is a more heavier buyer's market, lenders are offering different programs that are available for you to be able to combat this certain circumstance, with higher interest rates still playing a part in people's decisions. There's definitely programs that lenders are offering. Of course, if you need a very qualified local lender, by all means you can reach out to me or Nicole Quinones, my partner. We can get you with a high quality local lender that understands the market and is very nimble to be able to help you formalize and craft a budget that would be good for you and make sense for you, especially with inflammatory pricing in just general goods that you might buy every day, right? On top of that, buyers, because we are in a buyer's market, are able to have their buyer's agent, the agent who's going to represent you, which of course it should be us, be able to have the seller pay for a portion, if not most, of the compensation that we are requiring in order for us to be able to do our great services for you, which there's a litany of things that buyer's agents do, not only just showing houses, but through the the hustle and bustle of the contract, negotiations and such. The sellers, to make their homes be more attractive compared to other homes, they will offer still compensation to be paid to the buyer's agent's brokerage as a way to show, hey, come and buy my house, versus the person next to them, right? So the thing is that there's a great opportunity for buyers to get the home at a great price, and then as interest rates come down, they can choose to do a refinance to bring their price of their mortgage down and have the price at a better one than if they were in a high demand market like we were in at 2020 to 2022, where ultimately you were paying a much higher price for a home, and even though you had a great interest rate, you were finding that you might have paid a little bit more than you should have at that particular time if you did any sort of impulse buying, which we would never allow you to have done if we were working with you, right? But there are some circumstances where, now in this market, some sellers are feeling that burden because of those decisions back then, right? But for buyers now, you have an opportunity to get an amazing price for a home. You're able to negotiate terms that work in your favor. You're having the seller be able to pay for the buyer broker's compensation, etc. Now, for sellers, all hope is not lost. Even though we are in a much higher or more favorable market for buyers, sellers are still able to cash out on some of the equity that they've been able to amount over the course of the last 5 years. When demand was very high, prices got raised up, and even if right now it's not the most advantageous opportunity to sell, if sellers can understand this very magic word, which is patience, they will be able to sell their home not in the same way that it was done a few years ago, where within a half hour of the house going listed, you had 13 offers. Now, depending upon the pricing strategy and the flexibility of you, the seller, it could take anywhere from 45 plus days. We're seeing some homes 60, 90, even more. So sellers, if you are really very serious about selling your home, it's very important to get with an agent like myself and Nicole, who understand different strategy capabilities that we can provide to you in order to make sure that you're showing your best foot. But I will tell you that sellers, the days of trying to get max dollar out of your property above what the market is pushing is not the best of options right now. What we're finding is that sellers who are positioning themselves like that are generally 9 times out of 10 the sellers that their houses are sitting on the market the longest. What buyers are looking for is a fair price. What buyers are looking for is a good deal. What buyers are looking for are homes that may have all the bells and whistles with them. And if they don't provide that and it's still a great home that you're selling, which there's plenty of them in the Tampa Bay area, then they're looking for a good deal. They're looking for a house that's priced properly for the market and is not overpriced. Some sellers, you need to understand that, you might be able to consider a price strategy where, we'll see where they come, the buyers, right? But right now, they might not even look at your home if it's priced too high. So it's very important to be candid, to be honest, to be open with our clients and anybody who's considering selling right at this moment. You really need to make sure that the house is priced properly. And there's still a lot of equity out there for a lot of sellers to be able to walk away with a sale and still have a substantial down payment for the next home that they want to call home. Obviously it's super important to have these conversations for any buyers who are looking to buy, for any sellers that are looking to sell. And me, Fred Quiñones, and Nicole Quiñones of 𝐃𝐢𝐝, we'd be honored to help you with all of your real estate needs. So if you're considering in this year to make a move of any sort, please do not hesitate to give me or Nicole a call at 727-291-1710. We'd be honored to talk about a strategy that would work on either side of the fence in real estate, even if you're doing both. So I hope you have an amazing day. I hope this information was very useful, and we look forward to hearing from you soon. Give us a call. Bye.